resume the recording. All right. Just a quick things. I'm going to be off literally less than 5 minutes. So antitrust policy, you can find this on the LF and the project websites. The policy is important where multiple companies, including potential industry competitors, are participating in meetings. Please review, and if you have any questions, contact your company legal counsel. Members of the Linux Foundation can contact Andrew Updegrove at the firm of Gasmere Updegrove LLP, which provides legal counsel to the LF. Standard stuff, everyone's seen it, just needs to be mentioned. I just want to mention one other thing that I have in the agenda here. It'll be quick. It's about the upcoming June Developer and Testing Forum and the call out for community leads. So I just jumped over to the website. It's on the LF Wiki. Let me drop this in the chat real quick, right here. Okay. So obviously there's a place for ODIM since, as always, we've got a place here. One of the things would be good if we could get a community committee lead or event help that represents ODIM. That would be great. You could jump right on the website, log in with your LFID, edit here. If you're interested in, and this is open to anybody in the community who wants to step up and help lead the program as an LFN project. Now, we'll go through the proper, procedures and things when we have these events. There's actually three of these a year. There's one. Go ahead.
No, just to clarify, this is the Developer and Testing Forum that you're looking for participation.
Correct. In June.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Similar to the testing forums that we've done, the last one was in February, and we also did one back in, I believe, in October of 2020. So this is not new to us, right? We've been in these before. So we can take up as much or as little as we'd like as far as participation and topics. We might want to talk about perhaps where we might fit into the the 5G super blueprint maybe, or the upcoming demo. If we can, that type of thing would probably be an ideal topic. Okay, that's really it. The only other thing is here, if you can jump on the page and add your attendance, that'll be great. Otherwise, perfect. Thank you everyone who's done that already. And I'm going to hand it over to you folks for the simulator demo.
Okay, sounds good to us. Thank you. So guys, I may have just a few words. Arthur, you can start sharing. So we recently contributed the BMC simulator code into the ODIM project namespace. We created the dedicated repository on the main level. It's called BMC simulator, where we uploaded the source code. Arthur, who's our engineer working on this BMC simulator, will present the demo. He will show you some files and do some hands-on.
Yes, thank you, Rafał. Okay, so I will show you how to integrate BMC simulator, and I will talk something about that project. So first, I will say something about introduction, the pre-work. I will show you how to start a simulator from the Dolant repository to connect with ODIM. And I will show you something about code. I will tell something about code, and that's all. Okay, so first, what is the BMC simulator? It's a to-test environment simulator for BMC with REST API. We use the technology. We use the Kotlin technology from JetBrains. It's some kind of it's a JVM technology, some kind of new Java language created by JetBrains. and it's everything from the Redfish, and the API is Redfish, like BMC should have. And everything what do you need on development machine if you want to run BMC simulator is OpenJDK 11. And if you want if you want to do something else, I mean edit code or something like that, we use the IntelliJ because it's because it's from the JetBrains company, and they created the Kotlin. So I think it's the best either to do that. But if you want to use something else, it's not a problem, because all you need to have a Kotlin plugin and set SDK structure. And the project has been developed and tested on at Ubuntu 18 version, but I think it will be not a problem with the newer version, but we developed and test only at 18 LTS version of Ubuntu. So I will show you everything about integration. First, if you want to build and run simulator, you need to create executable jar. So I will show you how to do that. I already downloaded the BMC repository. It's a clean repository. So first we need to create executable jar. It takes some like 3 minutes. So I will move forward right now. Oh, sorry. Next, you need to generate certifications, like for Kafka in ODIM or Zookeeper. We create the script to do that. So first we need to from ODIM we need to take a root key. So I will copy to do that easier to BMC repository. BMC simulator. Okay. Yes. Okay, so I will have key in the simulator repository, and right now I will generate, and I need to put here DNS of my BMC simulator. I will use the same DNS like as ODIM I have on my in my environment. It will generate the certification. If you want to use the local host, just or something like that, just remember how you put how ODIM have connection with that, because I'm using the DNS like in ODIM, which is created here. Okay, right now we have the Trustor and Keystore in our repository. Let's check how it's going. So we need to wait. Oh no, wait. It's 1 minute left. So okay. So next step, third step, because it's 4 steps to do that. It's a prepare config file. We can find the config file in the resources directory. So let's get to the.
And our config files, are those dictating what type of BMC you're emulating, or?
No, it's a config about certification. Where's the certs? What IP? I will show you. Give me a minute. Okay, so here I have prepared the IP, which is the same like as the DNS I used. The port where it will be well, the port, and the location for our Keystore and Trustor. I will copy everything to one directory, so I do not create here the path. I will not show here the path to the Trustor and Keystore. I just use the everything put in the same directory, and here credentials for ODIM, for HTTP client, And here, the basic credentials, what credential we have the simulator. So it's prepared the config in the repository. You need just remember to about IP, about port, credentials, and location for key store and trust store. In our cert generator, the password will be the same like it's prepared here. So if sorry. So if okay, it's already built. So I will put everything into the build libs, because here we have the jar file. I will explain how to run simulator, and if you want to run a different version of simulator. So I will copy that to the build and libs. Okay. And we need to put the certificate to BMC to build libs. Okay, so we already have everything prepared here. So just we need to just run the command. Next slide. Oh, it's a simulator registration. So it's here. We need just to run the command java jar, name of a file, and add the config file with parameter C, or config if you want. Java jar simulator runner, run BMC, and we put here the config, and here we run the BMC. If you create it, because already we have only one simulator at the list, I will show you here. But if you create a different version of BMC, you can edit. I will explain later how to do that. It will have more available simulators, and you just need to choose as a run BMC, and you just choose which simulator you want. We already have only one, only BMC, so we run BMC and put config in here. Let's start it. As we see here, the config has been loaded correctly. Now Truster and Keystore has been loaded correctly, and simulator is already started. So let's register that simulator. It's a last point. If someone don't know how to register BMC simulator in ODIM, it's everything described in the README in the repository. So we just need to put DNS and port, username and password as like in config. We put admin, and connection method, we need to give the link to GRF plugin. So let's post it. Okay, it has been started. And as we see, ODIM start crawling the simulator. Let's wait to take some few seconds to do that. So let's check the task, how it's going. Okay, it's still running, 31% complete. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay, it's finished. So let's check that at Redfish. Systems. We already have the system. For example, here it's a system from our BMC simulator. It's already crawled. We are logging every request. So as we see, we already, it's chassis. Okay, because I think the ODIM have some cache for that. But as you see, we have logged every method and get method or post method in simulator. Of course, you can turn off that logs. I will explain later that. So if you have any question to that part about integration with ODIM, feel free to ask. If not, I will step to the next part of presentation.
Yeah, I guess, are you guys okay with us saving this presentation and perhaps sticking it on the wiki later?
No problem.
Okay, I think that will be helpful for others. Okay.
Yes, if you want everything, it's explained here too. That every part, how to connection with ODIM in BMC simulator, in BMC simulator repository. So, okay.
I have a question. This is Muthu from AMI. Can we run multiple instances of the BMC simulator on different port?
Yes, just run many. You just need to run many Java jars with different configurations or different arguments.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like the configuration, we can update the port and different names, and we can just launch multiple instances. Yeah, thank you.
Arthur, I have a question. Like, how many instances of a BMC can one process simulate? Single or?
One process is only can have simulate one instance.
Okay.
If you want to run second instance, you need to run second process.
Okay.
Yeah, another question is, so in terms of the schemas and properties that the OpenBMC, your BMC supports, does it follow something like OpenBMC or any particular vendor's implementation, or?
So the schema was chosen best of the, let's say, the latest at the time of the writing, right? We took the latest schema if in terms of the versioning, but if it turns to the properties implemented, based on the, let's say, direction from John Jung, who's our rep to DMTF, John proposed to use the, let's say, OCP profiles, but also pointed us to the OPAF profiles. The OPAF profile looked like the best described redfish profile in the ecosystem, and it is available on the DMTF. So I would say it's like ratified by DMTF, and
no,
it was giving the.
No, it isn't. So the OPAF profiles, right? If you consider best, the OCP profiles are the minimum baseline, right? From which people can conform to OCP. The OPAF profiles are the most comprehensive usage of the redfish properties. So if you want to look at a low line and a high line, the high line is OPAF. OPAF is recognized by the Open Group, the Open Process Automation Forum, and they're the only ones that, well, they're the ones that bless it, and they're the ones that are driving it within the industry.
Okay, thanks for clarification, John. But guys, when we were talking about this, BMC simulator as a let's say proposal for implementation a while ago, and we had this discussion, right? And my question was, which, let's say, vendor API should the BMC simulator mimic as a as a first, like, let's say, work? And the statement was, and I remember it was either Jonas or Martin stating, it shouldn't be coding to the specific vendor. It should be that, let's say, the golden config or whatever, something that vendors have to, let's say, implement their BMC so it looks similar, right?
But
I thought the goal was for ODIM to create its ODIM profile.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to say.
But that has not been created yet, as I know, right? But that's exactly what should be emulated by this BMC emulator.
Absolutely. If we have official ODIM profiles,
That is
Well,
the only
they're
way to go.
official. They live in their own branch, and they're for us to collaborate around.
Is it?
And
Wait,
make them.
no. Is it if it's been approved by this ODIM TSC, then it's official. Now, all because someone posted it doesn't make it official, guys.
There was no discussion about the profiles, right? Yeah, official in the TSC.
I like to dispute that. We have talked about the profiles in TSC many times, but we have not said that they're official.
Right, so it's not approved, guys. You guys
I'm
can talk about it
not sure
all
what you.
day long, right? So
I don't remember reviewing the properties or discussing, you know, what.
What is this discussion? Can somebody summarize? Because I think we're looking at a demo now, and we have drafty profiles that we can work on later, and perhaps once they are real and approved, we can align with those. That's my thinking.
Yeah. Let's go back to the presentation, guys. Yeah. Thanks for policing, Jonas.
Okay, thank you. So there was a question about run multiple simulators. As you see, I run the second simulator and second terminal and a different port. Just I put the argument for the port different. And as you see here, it start running on the different port. So I will move to the next part. Running and debugging BMC simulator. So I showed you already how to create the jar file and how to run it. So I will move to the next slide. How to use the basic setup. So if you want if you want to use IntelliJ, I will show you. I have already here prepared the simulator. So if you want to start debugging the code, you need to find the simulator CMD file. So let's find it. Simulator CMD. Oh, it's here. So we have here the main function, which has started the simulator. And we need just to click here, debug or run, or modify run configuration. And in program argument, just to put which the simulator we want to run. We already have just one simulator, but if you create the second simulator, you can have many versions of simulator in one jar file. So here it's just running VMC simulator, and you can run or debug here. And I showed that already. And the logging, we have the logback configuration in XML. There is the described appender, log format, and logging level. I will show you that here. And you can change the for dependencies and for all application how to log the output. And of course, you can change everything. And if you have any question how to do that, here is the link to official documentation of logback. Now I will show you some code through. Walkthrough. I will show you some code, the most important parts. So first, it's simulator CMD. Because here is starting our simulator. Here we have the every argument described. The most important, I think, it's a config, how to load the config. If you will not choose the config, the simulators will start looking for config named simulator config JSON. And if simulator will not find it, it will take the default configuration from the code. So I think the best option is to every time put your own config file. Also, you can set the IP address, port, and that's all. Okay, the second part simulator configuration, the every endpoints is described in BMC simulator, and BMC simulator is the most important file in our project, because here is described which and how many do you want to have endpoints. For example, if you want to have 2 or 3 systems in BMC simulator, everything is described here. Here is how to create the endpoint, and next part you need to connect that endpoint in its part of code. For example, here we have the system described with 2 processors, with memory, with 1 storage, which include drive, storage control, and volume, boot options, and everything it's described here. So if you want, for example, create the second version of simulator, the best option, I think, and the easier way will be copy that file and change the name from BMC, for example, for BMC2. That name is important for how you start running the simulator. As I showed you, run BMC. Here it's that name which you want to have in the as argument at start. Just change the class name, and you can edit everything what you want in the second file. For example, you can change that for example, BMC ODIM or BMC version 2 or something like that. And here you just need, if you want, for example, second volume, it's very easy way. Just create the second volume, for example, here, and next just put it in the storage. And that's all. We already create the second volume in code. It will be available in the REST API already. So next part, the 3 examples. Of course, I show you how to create the endpoints, but what if you want to change the property at endpoints? We have the 3 template in 3 directory. And we have 2 directories, BMC and Redfish. Redfish, it's the main template. It will be as a default take to our simulator. And for example, we have here versioning of Redfish API. It's every version is described here, and you can choose if you want to choose which one you want version to start. You need just to, in the main file BMC simulator, choose the resource version here. We choose here BMC 1.0 version, and I will explain why it's BMC and not, for example, like here V101, for example, because the second directory is BMC, and BMC here is overriding the Redfish template. For example, let's take storage BMC template. It's overriding storage template, and it's taking the version 1.19. So let's check 1.9. It's the newer version here. So it will take the newer version, and it's adding only one property, drives collections. But if you want, I will show you example. For example, you can also where is that? You can also delete the property. Well, I see there is. I see no example of deleting here, but also you can delete property or edit property name, or just fill the property if you want. For example, here it's everything change for null. So the good practice is to not editing Redfish template, because Redfish should be not edited. You just need to create your new template and override the Redfish template. So it's the best practice. And here you have in templates every property described how it's looking like. So next, it's behaviors. So what's the behaviors are? It's some kind like filters. It's a code which is starting when you send request for a specific endpoint. Here is every behaviors append to our BMC simulator. You can change the behavior, you can create your own behavior, you can edit behavior. For example, let's take this behavior as an example. These behaviors will start if you send a GET request at computer system metrics, and it will start this code. This code is behavior, and it's run. And what do we have here? It will process power and memory power. Well, it will change the value of that properties, and that's what that behavior is doing. Also, you can create the behaviors for different actions. For example, we have the behaviors with patch, with post. For example, we had the reset action. Oh, here is reset. So here it's if you want to set reset and change at the API, like here the power. So it's so you can create that behavior like this. Here is for reset on system. Behavior prepared, and you can just create your own or edit the behaviors if you want. So that's all about code walkthrough, and that's all about presentation. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
So Arthur, I had a question. Like, do you also support operations like creating volumes and stuff?
Yes, we have create the volume and deleting volume.
Okay.
Yes, it's already supported.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's more questions?
So I think I have a generic question. So this code is already part of this ODIM project, right? Umbrella. What do we need to do, like, to integrate? Do we want to integrate it into the CI/CD of the, let's say, ODIM array? Bharat, do you have any opinions about it?
Well, actually, I had hoped we could do that, and I had asked Arthur about this. That, you know, since right now there's not much testing going on in the open source project when anybody merges code. So if we were to integrate this with that CI/CD, we could have this, you know, at least confirmation with this OPAC profile to begin with.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yep.
That's possible.
So you see, like usually what happens is that when we raise a PR job, that creates a spins off a VM. So we can pack this off into the same VM as ODIM, right? And maybe use local ports to, or if you can create, I mean, it would be complicated to create actual network IPs, but even if you are having loop back, and since it's just one simulator, I think it makes sense to have some basic set of tests against this.
Okay, so Bharat, it looks like we can collaborate offline, right, to make it happen.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And I guess the other thing that we'd need to look at before we use it for, you know, doing the, you know, the automated verification is making sure that the profile, you know, the set of schemas and properties, I mean, you know, I guess OPAF/OCP profile stuff that it currently adheres to is what we want as part of the ODIM project, and so maybe and I'd suggested it offline to Jonas anyway, is that we and one of the technology calls, the ODIM technology calls, is we go through those profiles then and agree that they're the right set, and come up with the definitive list then, and then we can sort of tune this emulator to fit that.
I think it's an excellent idea, Marty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will close the presentation.
Thank you, Arthur, for presenting.
If you have no questions to the simulator and or codes, I will close the presentation. Feel free to ask if you need some help with simulator in the future.
Okay,
yes, excellent. Thank you.
And I will put somewhere, if you guys tell me where I'll put this presentation, maybe on the proposal wiki, or where would be the best place?
It looks like, has Jonas left us?
Yeah, Jonas said he had to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could put it there in the first instance then, do you think, Rafael? Just on the proposal bit, and then if it needs to be moved later, at least it's somewhere now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good place to put it. Agreed. All right, do we have anything else for today's call?
I have one question. We started working on the composition service. I want the Git project created for that. So I'm not sure whether I have permission. I haven't tried that one. I started an email thread with Jonas and Bharat on that part. If anybody else can help on that.
Muthu, I think what you want is repo, right? Like separate
repository.
Yeah,
Separate repository.
it should be possible for you, but we can also create that for you. But Muthu, there was a question I had to ask you about that. See, like, remember you plan to do it in Python, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because currently we don't have the infrastructure for that. We have to migrate to gRPC first, right? From Go Micro.
Anyway, this composition service will be running as an independent service, right?
Yeah, but the ask was that it should be able to interact with the task service and authentication and all that.
Yeah, authentication. Yeah.
Even the task service, I think it will be needed because composition can take a long time, right? So we need a task so that they can come back and it won't be a blocking call then.
Yeah, from composition point of view, basically the computer system composition is like an action on the computer system resource. The composition service will just initiate the post action, from my understanding, according to the composition service schemas.
Yeah, but then that will be blocked because the systems may take time, right? So some operations at least will need to have a way to return back a task.
So what's the plan, Bharat, then, for getting rid of Go Micro then?
Currently, we have not started anything on that.
All right, and is that something that we need to bump up in terms of urgency then, do you think? Or
yeah, we'll have to do that.
Is it a lot of work?
I mean, the lot more testing. Certainly, there are some code changes. We'll have to get rid of the Go Micro and then just use gRPC, which is actually what the underlying mechanism which Go Micro also uses. But so because of that, the interface is what they call the proto files. They're, I think, reusable, but we need to see how to generate those steps and test that. Should not be a very heavy lift, but yeah, we need some amount of work for that.
Okay. Is that something that we could work with? I mean, Muthu, is that something we could work with you on, or would that make it easier, Bryce, do you think? Work
Yeah.
with AMI on it?
Yes, definitely.
What do you think, Muthu?
Yeah, maybe we can get on a call and discuss on that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Otherwise, there is this sort of permanent blocker then, isn't there, on getting that actually in there. So yeah, we could have it on a branch, but we can't actually do very much with it. So yeah, I think fixing this would be very useful to everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what, Bryce, Muthu, is that something you guys could arrange between you, or?
Yeah, we'll talk, and maybe even I will keep you posted, the TSC posted on that.
All right. Is it
Okay,
from
sounds like
anybody else?
anything else? Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, this is Lewis. If you have any problems creating that repo, just reach out. I'll unstick it for you, whatever the problem is.
Yeah, sure. I think that won't be needed because Cisco ACI I created myself, so it should be possible for Muthu. I'll just check that. Muthu, you're added as a collaborator there, or admin, or?
I need to check that part.
Okay, I'll check that. I'll have that checked.
Yeah.
Actually, this week, one of our managers who usually does this, Ashraf, is on leave, sick leave. So worst case, early next week we'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
If it's possible, we'll do it right away. Yep, that's it, I think.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.